bringing him back with us. He has the website Indigenous Rookie Card.com. Naim Cardinal is joining us again on the show. Naim, thanks so much for making some time on this Wednesday, my friend.
Hey, thanks for bringing me back. I appreciate it a lot. Great to see you, Barney.
So this is really cool, and I kind of reached out to you and I said, what should we do this month? And you had a great idea here. Again, your website has just fascinating stories and the Indigenous rookie cards of all these guys, and the story on how you built the website around that. It's just very cool. But what we're going to focus on today, I think, and it ties into what we were talking about yesterday on the show with the territories and curling, but it's the territories and hockey, and the first NHL players from the territory regions in Canada that made the NHL. Now, the last one everyone's going to know that knows hockey, but let's start with the Yukon and the first ever player from the Yukon that played or made it to the NHL.
Yeah, for sure. So the first player to make it to the NHL from the Yukon was a player named Peter Sturgeon. He played in the 1970s. He debuted in October 1979 for the Colorado Rockies. So the interesting thing about that is that his rookie card is from the 75-76 O-Pee-Chee season with the Boston Bruins. Which you see up here on the screen, which is like, I'm nerding out here, but it's so intriguing to me because in those days, like especially like the 70s, it was almost impossible to get yourself on a hockey card without at least playing a season in the NHL. You can see on the back there, it says no NHL career record. And then he didn't make his NHL debut until 3 seasons later, which is, I'm trying to find out what happened here because I looked through that entire set. And there's about 44 rookie cards in that set, and this is the only player in that set that has no previous NHL experience before getting on a hockey card. Like, this is kind of common in today's day and age, but in this era, in the 1970s, it was almost not happening at all. But he played 6 games in the NHL over 2 seasons. He had a lot of injuries. Had some issues with his knees and stuff, so didn't really get the shot that he probably should have had. There was actually 2 players from the Yukon who debuted in the same season. Just happened that Peter played earlier than the other player, and the other player was Byron Baltimore. And then later we now see Dylan Cousins, who we all know is a heck of a player.
Very interesting story. Yeah, a hockey card with no NHL stats on the back. Let's move to the Northwest Territories. This is actually probably a trivia question, or a lot of these are trivia questions out there. The first ever player from the Northwest Territories to play in the NHL, born 1953 in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. Victor Mercredi, am I getting his name right?
Yes, you are.
What can you tell us about this cat?
Yeah, well, Victor had a very successple junior career. He played a couple of years in the BCHL, I guess at the time BCJHL. And was tore up the league in scoring. He was a first team all-star in 1970-71 at 106 points. And I actually know Victor personally, and he's told me a lot of cool stories. And at the end of that season, he wasn't sure what he wanted to do, but he wanted to challenge himself, and he decided to go play in the Western Canada Junior Hockey League, which is now the WHL, and played there for 2 seasons with New Westminster Bruins. He put up 113 points in his last season, was 7th in scoring. And then he was drafted in the first round, 16th overall by the Atlanta Flames. Played 2 games in 74, 75. Heck of a hockey player, could put the puck in the net. And one of the cool things about Victor and the way he played is that he played with a straight blade. And he told me that he was inspired by Jean Beliveau of the Montreal Canadiens. And he would Victor would switch hands while he was playing hockey. Like he would switch from shoot right hand to left hand. And he said he worked on this for a year and a half as a kid. And he said every time he was at the rink, that's what he did. He worked on switching hands, and he tricked a lot of defenders and goalies that way. And that's how he was like so successful at scoring so many goals while he was playing hockey.
That is very interesting. That's like one of those old wives' tales, or one of those things you kind of talk with your buddies. It's like, all right, who can play, if you're left-handed, who can play right-handed, or vice versa. Yeah, and using the old straight blades back in the day. I see the card here that we had up on the screen. Is this one of the cards that you did with Upper Deck, because he never did have an original card?
Yep, that's right. So that photo that was from his time with the Atlanta Flames, and actually got to know Victor pretty well over the last few years, and just a wonderful guy, and I think someone who deserves a lot more attention. Growing up in northern communities is not always easy, and then moving away from your family and everyone you know and love is a challenge. And a lot of hockey players go through that.
The one thing, since you know him, I'm just wondering, Naim, not to put you on the spot or anything, but did he talk about how difficult it was for that journey, like back in the late 60s, or whenever he made the trip down to go play in BC, because it's not as convenient as it is nowadays to get from point A to point B. So I'm sure back then, to get from Yellowknife to go to the unknown, did he ever tell any about those stories and that struggle, or I guess the adventures?
No, we never really touched on that while we talked. He just told me mostly told me stories about his playing days and kind of like the experiences he had and those kinds of things. But it's probably a good topic of conversation for the next time we connect.
Yeah, I'd also like to know, what was the hockey like that he was playing back then in Yellowknife, and were there other guys that probably could have went that were kind of, no, I'm I don't want to get homesick, or I want to stay here, and that's a really cool story, and I've never heard of his name before. That's really cool. That's one of the cards that you did with Upper Deck. Okay, the last guy, then the first ever NHL player from the Nunavut territory, famous, everybody will know this name, 723 games in the NHL, Jordan Tootoo.
Obviously everyone's familiar with Jordan. Played for Team Canada in the 2003 World Juniors, kind of burst on the scene there, and made a huge mark with Team Canada that year. Had a significant career, and very successful as a junior player, but mostly wanted to focus on his hockey cards, because most people are familiar with Jordan, but these cards here are from my collection. So Jordan has a total of 479 hockey cards made. Wow. And there's so many player collectors out there who focus on Jordan Tootoo. There's a lot of competition out there to get his hockey cards. So I feel very lucky that I have these. And these cards here are from the 2003-04 Upper Deck Premier Collection during his rookie season. So this is from his rookie card year. And this was at the time considered like the highest end set available. Today we have the Cup, which most collectors know it's in the thousands per tin to buy it. But at the time, when this set was released, you could buy a box of 4 packs for about $350 US, and it was just 4 packs. But in my opinion, as a collector, this is the nicest set ever made. They're just really beautiful cards. The rookie cards have on-card autos, really nice patches from the jerseys on these rookie cards, and just a lot of really beautiful features to these cards. So if you are looking to collect Jordan Tootoo cards, just be mindful that there's a lot of other people out there collecting. I'm not just saying don't compete against me. It's fine, but there's a lot of people out there who go after his cards and pay big money for his rookie cards especially. But just wanted to feature these ones here.
Yeah, very, very cool. Again, the website is indigenousrookiecard.com. It's just great to kind of go through and surf around. Well put together website. Naim, thank you so much again for shedding some light on things today. We talk about Peter Sturgeon, Victor Mercredi, and Jordan Tutu, the first players in the NHL from the territories and regions up there. Crazy stuff. Namer, thanks so much for doing this again, my man.
Yeah, thanks, Barn. Anytime.